I think oftentimes it was just doing a lot, not recognizing the importance of having a community. And I'm grateful for the people that are within that community for me. I don't know where we got this thought where life is supposed to be easy breezy. I don't know. Were we even prepared, to handle so much? Because the supervisor said, I know I'm just filling a seat here, and if I die tomorrow, you're just going to fill it with somebody else. My other supervisor looked at me in the moment. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. And I'm like, well, I'm just saying the thing that you know is true, that you're just going to replace me. So I have to take responsibility for my mental health, my well-being. I don't think it's a fair question because I don't think everybody's built to make these shifts. And that's me being very realistic. Like, it's easy to come up with a concept intellectually, but then in actuality, a lot of us aren't built to take those steps that I'm about to list.
As human beings, we're all connected. As we traverse this world, it's up to us to find the common stories, to live them, to share them, to change them. The Grown Up Millennial is a space for us to share those stories. It's a space that grows and evolves as we all navigate the highs and lows of life. Our entire lives is a process of becoming. Every day we become a new part of ourselves. What will you discover today? Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Grown Up Millennial podcast. My guest today is Caurel Richards, and we have a little longish, shortish history.
Right?
So welcome to the podcast, Caurel.
Well, I'm glad I finally made it, first of all. And we're in
Yeah.
kind of sort of one piece, if we can at least say that much.
I mean, we at least have the bag of things together for us to be whole. So
Right?
yeah.
And just put the puzzle pieces together.
Right,
Okay,
right.
here, let's do it then.
And like just like the name of your business, right? Everything happens in divine time. So
Yes.
um we're gonna just take a pause and check in for a little bit. So we have 3 check-in questions. The
Okay.
first one is, what are you thankful for today?
It's interesting. I'm in a season right now that I'm grateful that I can say I'm thankful for the people that I've surrounded myself with. I think oftentimes it was just doing a lot, not recognizing the importance of having a community, and I'm grateful for the people that are within that community for me.
I was talking to our friend the other day, and we were saying as we get older, the circle gets smaller and smaller, but it's so intentional that you don't mind it. Like when you were younger, it was
Yeah.
more about, I need to have all these friends, but now it's really
Yes.
like, I kind of just need my core people.
Yeah. I heard a
Hmm.
quote the other day. They're like, yes, you have people that you surround yourself with, but who are those people that are in your corner? And I think
Yeah.
those are the core people, right? The corners, the people that it's not when you need them that they find you, is when they know that you need them. If you get what I'm saying. You don't have
Yes.
to verbalize it. They can just tell something is a little bit off, and they can just give you what you need. And it's not that they're it's not that they're telepathic. It's just they know you enough to know that
Something
something
is
is off
off.
and that you need support. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And just leading into, as we were talking, so the second check-in question is, what is your favorite quote right now?
Favorite quote of all time, it never changes, fortunately, is just show up and things will happen. I think it's by Mother Teresa. And
Mm,
it's important to me, especially because I think oftentimes for me, it's like you have to be 100% is the thought that I have in my head. And I've learned over the last couple of years that I don't need to be 100 to show up. I just need to show up, and that's enough.
I saw something on Instagram, because I mean that's where we're getting everything from now these days. That like we are thinking that we have to do something else. So like the showing up is one piece, but then I have to be on. But in the showing up is the 100%, if you really look at it, because I
Yep.
could have been at home and it would have been 0%. So the showing up is really the act that we need to focus on because we're
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah, and so much can happen in just showing up, right? Because it's you
Mhm.
giving yourself the opportunity to even be a part of this experience. And I'm even speaking about what we're doing right now. Like, if we didn't show up, this conversation would not be happening. And whatever is coming of it would not
Yeah,
happen, right?
yeah. And the final check-in question, this one is always interesting for me. Which song is on repeat on your playlist right now?
Oh, that's easy. Changes by Mortimer.
Oh, I love him so much.
Yeah.
He is so good.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yep.
yeah, in music just calm me down to what, bruh.
Yep.
Honestly, yes,
Yep.
yes. Music is so important. Last night I was watching the last of the Love Is Blind season 8, which
Oh boy.
let's not even, because
We
this
won't.
season was so boring. But they had a musical guest for the first time,
Yeah.
and it started out with a harpist, and I'm like, there's no way like anybody can upstage a harpist because that's a freaking harp. Like that's just it's just so majestic. And then the guy started singing. I got up out of my bed and went for my phone to find his music on YouTube Music.
Oh
He was
wow.
so good.
Wow.
His name is Alex Warren, and it just like hit me that music is so important.
It
That
is.
like when you find a good, like somebody good was really speak to your soul,
Yep.
it's not something to take for granted, honestly.
Yeah, I think what happens is that they're saying it's almost like what they do is they find the words that you can't find for what you're feeling.
Yes.
So I'm just like, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I knew this is
It's
what
a
I was feeling. I
talent.
just didn't know how to vocalize it. But
Mm-hmm.
thanks.
Mm-hmm. Love this. Love this for me that I live in this world where I can just find music easy. um, we were talking a little bit in the pre-show about just the level of stuff going on
Mhm.
for, I mean, anybody who is like actively participating in the world right now. How
Yeah.
do we find a little pause? Because I was just saying to you, like, it feels like one day you feel like you have things under control, the next day it's all blown up, like nothing. You have nothing, you know nothing. So,
I think within your question is the answer, strangely enough. It's
mm,
that I think we as human beings need to understand that we have no goddamn control.
mm,
Like, let it go. We have no control over what is going on in this world. And I think the thought that I have with that is the more you want to have control, or the more you think you have control, is the more out of control you are. And it's not
uh,
to say that you don't actively participate in your life. It's just understanding that the things that are happening outside of you, they're happening. And the most important response that you can have is how you respond, right? It's
yeah,
not trying to change it. It's not trying to say, I wish it was this way. It was just saying, okay, it is what it is. And now what can I do within myself? What is within my control? Yes, I use the same word back, but what is within my response that I can be able to walk through this, navigate this in a way that, yeah, sometimes it's gonna feel a little bit challenging, but what part of life isn't challenging? And it also gives you the opportunity to respond in a way that is in harmony with yourself and who you are. And at sometimes there are moments where you're fighting, and it's
yeah,
accepting that.
yeah. Honestly, yeah.
I don't know where we got this thought where life is supposed to be easy
Easy.
breezy. I don't know. Just let me know where it came
But you
from.
know what though? I think, to be fair, I feel like as millennials, we have been going through it. So it's almost like we just want a little catch up.
Yeah.
Like not the recession as we graduate, and then there is like COVID. That was just a
Yeah.
whole thing. Nobody can buy a house. This housing crisis, cost of living crisis, and then now this burgeoning possible recession coming on. We're just like, and then the wars across the world. I mean, come on, like,
So much for
what?
real.
When do we take a pause? And then it's also all the like little wars within our own lives,
Yeah.
and we're saying like, all right, I think I'm okay. If I block out the outside, maybe I can focus on this. But then it's still something after
Yeah.
something else after something else.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting question. It's an interesting concept. I think the one thing that is coming to my mind right now is, were we even prepared, to handle so much? Because yes, I can sit here and say
Mm,
that, it just comes with, being alive and just breathing. But do you think we got adequate preparation, um,
mm,
tools to navigate all of what is happening? Or
bro.
are we learning as we're going?
I kind of feel like it's the learning as we're going part. And I also want to hear your response. I think what our parents taught us to do, especially as Jamaicans, was kind of like push through it. Like whatever is going on, you're gonna push through it. Recession, all right, we're just gonna hit the ground harder. We're gonna work. We're gonna do
Yeah.
this. And then now that we're like, I don't know, like in the other side of our 30s, it's kind
Yeah.
of like, what was I doing again? We're trying to figure out who we are because everything just felt so like survival mode. I have to keep going because if I stop, I don't know what's gonna happen.
True.
I know that we were forced to kind of take a pause with being at home for almost 2 years in COVID. Um, and things like that is kind of like, all right, no. So what do I want and where does that fit in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's more like learning as we go, but also we're more open to getting professional help because our parents kind
Yeah.
of not.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, your thoughts.
No, no problem. It's man, life is very tricky.
Mm,
And what might work for me, what might not work for you. And I think it's navigating this
yeah.
conversation with that thought in mind. I get that whole idea of us as Jamaicans, just the resilience and just go on, push through, man. You'll get there, and you will. But then the scars that you kind of get as you go there are the things that we don't really pay attention to. We kind of just push it in the back and say, yeah, we'll deal with that later. And later never really comes. And then the stuff that we push in the background kind of starts to pile on onto each other. And then it turns into this big thing that we'll probably call anxiety one day, or we'll
Mm-hmm.
call depression one day. So to even go back to the question that you had asked earlier is like, when do we take a pause, or how do we even take a pause? I think the important part to remember is as we're going through and we're pushing through, is remembering that we're human and we're feeling things and we're experiencing things, and it's to acknowledge that that is happening, so it doesn't just become this big pile that you're dealing with 10 years down the road, and
Yeah.
you're just like, I didn't even take the moment to say, okay, I'm human and I'm experiencing this. Yeah, I can stop for a little bit, but I won't stop forever. Right? It's
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging that your humanness, because you are. Last time I checked, we're all humans. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, with AI, I mean, things are getting a little tricky. But at the point that we met a few, maybe several now years ago,
Yeah.
in divine time wasn't born yet. You were kind of not really navigating this space. How did that come about? And this foray into entrepreneurship, like what really caused this? What was the impetus for this?
Okay, I'm going to answer this as best as I can. As somebody that has never enjoyed, has never thought that working for another person was my end. I've always tried to figure out, okay, what can this look like?
Mm-hmm.
I never really got the answer at first. You know, you try a few things, they don't work, and you keep trying. And then, of course, as we were just speaking about, my 5, 10 years down the road came, and I had several panic attacks,
Mm-hmm.
and that forced me to pause. So when I mention panic attack and depression, I'm not just speaking theoretically. I'm speaking from experience to say that that's the thing that might force you to pause,
Yeah.
where you no longer can your body, withhold or withstand everything that is happening, and it starts to respond, and you again you don't have the control. It decides, okay, well, I need you to stop. I need you to pause. So I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do. And that was it for me. And I was just like, I was in a very high pressured environment at Bison.
Mm.
And I was just like, I remember saying to my supervisor, I said, I know I'm just filling a seat here. And if I die tomorrow, you're just going to fill it with somebody else. My other supervisor looked at me in the moment. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. And I'm like, well, I'm just saying the thing that you know is true,
Yeah.
that you're just going to replace me. So I have to know, take responsibility for my mental health, my well being, and I'm going to go speak to somebody, which is not something that I find easy to do,
Mm-hmm.
or found easy to do at that time, because in my head, nobody knew me more than me. So why am I going to somebody else to tell me what's going on with me? But gave it a shot, and it didn't work. So if you thought I was going to say, oh my God, I was healed, no, it did not work. And it wasn't necessarily therapy itself, it was the modality. It was um, traditional just talk therapy.
Mm.
You just go in and you talk to them about your feelings and what you're experiencing. And I'm like, yeah, but I know this part. So like, what else you got for me? And she's like, well, nothing's wrong with you. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm having panic attacks. I legitimately don't want to go to work. A family member just died. I think I'm grieving. Something's
Yeah.
going on. And the fact that I had to tell her, I was like, all right, I did my 6 weeks with her. And then I was like, no. So obviously, this is not it. And then at the time, I went through some immigration
Yeah.
challenges where my work permit had been refused or
Mm.
rejected. So I had the time, right? So I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything. So I was like, since you have the time, let's just dive into our mental health or well-being. And that's when I found Mind Valley and I found hypnotherapy.
Mm.
And that's when everything kind of clicked for me because this mind here, it's always going, right? I'm such a processor. I'm somebody that's always solving problems, problem solving and just putting pieces of puzzles together. And I just didn't know how to manage the mind that I
Yeah.
had, and hypnotherapy helped me with that.
Ooh.
And subsequently, I was like, shit, I can help myself. Let me go help some other people.
That's so interesting. Um, and everybody has their journey with therapy. Like honestly, I had to fire a few therapists until I found like the one that was the right fit.
Yeah.
Because some of these people just was it was not hating it. But you have to figure out like what makes sense for you. And as we were
Yes.
talking initially about like all this stuff that's going around, and you like this feeling that you don't really have a break or you can't find a break, what kinds of things have been kind of keeping you grounded right now with all the disruptions across the world?
Good question. Again, I'll go back to my circle. I think because I can be in my head so much at times, if I'm not able to have a conversation with someone who will probably give me some insights that maybe I don't have, or just remind me or bring me back to reality, because we're a little bit delusional, all of us. So, they bring me out of the delusion and be like, no, Caurel, think about it this way. And I'm like, hmm. So my circle, as well as I have to ensure that I get a lot of sleep.
Mm,
As long as I'm rested, I will be able to navigate this world. When I am not, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Sleep is so
yeah,
important. Like I am
yeah,
legit two different people if I get depending on the number of hours of sleep I get. Um
yeah.
Tread lightly. Uh,
I agree. I completely agree. Because that's how I'll start. So if I have a day where I'm just like, all right, I only got 5 hours sleep. Because granted, I like my 9 hours. Yeah. If I don't get the nine, I'm just like, hey, I am not 100% today. So I might just tell you something that you don't like to hear in a tone that you might not like it. It is not intentional, but my filter is slightly broken today. I just don't
I
have it.
don't have it. You have to be
Yeah.
honest. You have to be honest.
Yeah.
On your website, you say that you specialize in piecing together the healing journey on a subconscious level, transforming
Yes.
your emotional and energetic landscape so you can truly thrive in this human experience. And that
Yes.
sounds like so holistic. What does it actually look like? How would you kind of sum up a session with you? What would that look and feel like?
I think the one thing that sets me apart, and maybe I'm just tooting my own horn right now, but I'm gonna say it anyways, is that I look at the person that's in front of me, not just on a physical level, but also taking into consideration what they're here to do, the purpose that they're here to fulfill in this lifetime, and especially understanding that with that purpose comes
Mm-hmm.
challenges, right? So they're gonna have certain experiences, and because of those experiences that they're having, it's actually playing out something that they needed to learn,
Ah,
right? So I don't look at it from a standpoint of, oh, I'm so sorry you went through that. Yeah, maybe sorry that you went through it, but it also is a beneficial experience for where you need to be. So it's looking at it like that.
yeah.
Also owning in on the pain that they've gone through, and having them understand why that pain was necessary, because as much as we don't want to experience pain, pain is essentially a part of life, and it's understanding what was the importance of that experience and tying that into how you navigate it in the future, how you navigate it in the present, and it's giving you those tools that allow you to navigate life a little bit more harmoniously as who you
Mhm.
are, not who they told you you were supposed to be.
Mm, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that part.
That's the piece.
Yeah.
That's the piece I think like some
Yeah.
of us get lost in too, especially with how easy it is to kind of see into people's lives or see what people want to show us on social media, and we think that we need to be following a certain path, and then when our path doesn't look like theirs and we're doing the same things, we kind of get
Mm-hmm.
upset. This is not what you're
Yes.
supposed to be doing, sister. Like this,
Okay.
this is not where it's supposed to
I'm,
be.
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the part that is causing a lot of chaos within people is that they see somebody living a life that is so, on paper it looks
Hmm.
beautiful. It's just like, yeah, this is what I want. And it, like you said, it's not something that maybe you're supposed to be experiencing. What you're supposed to be experiencing is what you need to focus on. But too often we're focused on others because the thing that essentially is for us doesn't fit what society has deemed to be acceptable, right? And I think that's the piece that gets a little bit lost in
Mm,
translation is that there's a part of you that will feel rejected because society says what you're doing, yeah, that's not okay, sis. So like, you're gonna have to find something else. When the truth is, it is what it is. That is who you're supposed to be, and the longer you reject that part of you, is the longer life is gonna be a little bit harder for you.
yeah.
So it's gonna be hard, but it doesn't have to be as hard.
Yeah, that's it. I was talking to someone
Yeah.
a few podcast episodes ago. Her name is Anika Lee, and she was saying that you have to realize when you're in the wrong room, because she was like she was so hell bent on this particular focus area in college, and she went into the classes and she was like, "Why am I not getting this?" And it took
Mhm.
her some time to just say, "You know what? Maybe this is not for me. Maybe I need to step away and figure out what I need to do." And she ended up
Yeah,
doing languages and was excellent at it. Like,
I love that.
yeah, and then a lot of times too, I think we're also kind of played into not disappointing parents or whoever else who didn't get the opportunity, but enough for them opportunity in our years. So like you can use your
Hmm.
opportunity to do what they want you to do.
So I think what I'm hearing from you is that most people are just
Yeah,
lost.
yeah,
And imagine being on a road trip, you have no clue where you're going, or you think there's somewhere you want to go, but you took the wrong path to get there, and you're getting frustrated because, frankly, you took the wrong path, and you're getting frustrated with everybody else. Like,
yeah,
this ain't them, this is
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. We're not pausing to realize that. We're not pausing to realize that at all.
Mhm.
Your business name I think is interesting because it's in divine time, but not like time, but like time the seasoning. And it kind of got me
Yes.
down a rabbit hole thinking about all the benefits of time. And then I did a whole Google search. And I was surprised at how good time is for literally everything. Like it's a cough suppressant, it's a throat remedy. It can heal wounds. It can lower blood pressure. It has antiseptic properties. It can boost your mood. It can help you combat depression. It gets rid of pests. And I'm like, why am I just seeing
Yeah.
this? I never even know all that time.
Yeah,
Um,
it happened in divine time,
that's what I'm wondering. Now, like, did that influence the name? It's kind of multi-purpose use of the seasoning, or how
Yeah.
did you come up with that name in divine time?
Girl, I am very quirky, so you already knew. I was gonna go. It wasn't just enough to put Time. I'm just like, come on, no, we need
Yeah.
something else. And then at the time, I was very much into holistic
Yes.
remedies and cooking, and time is very good for
Mm-hmm.
regulation, right? So regulating whatever, everything that you just listed. So I was just like, this makes total sense. And intuitively, it was just a name that came to me. Yes, it's long, but I think it was very fitting for me. And I just went with it. I didn't try to overanalyze it. I was just like, this is what it is. And here we are almost 4 years
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine? Um,
All on a whim.
but you're doing it, right? This is 100% what we're talking about.
Yep.
So we've
Yep.
all heard the saying like every setback is a setup for a comeback. But truly, that's easier said than done. I mean, how do we sit with the emotion of the thing that did not work out, which is the setback, and then realistically continue to move on from it, even though it feels like this massive disappointment?
I think why that's so easy for me is because I understand that there's something bigger than me rooting for me,
Mm.
right? If I was sitting waiting on other human beings to root for me, maybe I wouldn't have moved, right? Because the thing I was doing was just so out of the
Mm-hmm.
norm amongst the people that I was around. So if I was waiting for somebody else to confirm or validate, then maybe that would have been
Yeah.
hard for me. But I think it's that connection to something that is divinely orchestrated that allowed me to understand that, you know what, it's just those taking those steps, right? And everything isn't a straight line. And
Yeah.
that's another thing too. It's everything isn't a straight line. Like I don't know anybody that's successful that can say, you know what, they did this, they never had any setbacks, everything just went perfectly. I would be saying that you're a
Mm-hmm.
liar. You're a straight up liar and you're setting people up for failure because that is not
Yeah.
true. Something happened that did not work out, and it didn't work out and it actually did work out,
Yeah.
if you hear what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah, right. There's so many instances that, you know, I wanted something to be what it was and it just wasn't. And if I didn't let go, and again it's the control, we're back to the
Yeah.
word control again. If I didn't let go and just allow, call it God, the universe, whatever the hell you want to call it, to allow things to shape the way that it needs to be shaped, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at right now. Because in my mind, I just wanted to have this successful practice, you know, and I'd have 100 clients, and I'm just like, girl, you want what? Like after about 4 sessions, you're done for the week. So like, where is this 100 going to be? So you know, we come up with these all these delusions,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's why it's important to let go, is
Mm.
because we're not all the way right upstairs, some of
Yeah.
us, right? So if we hold on to all of the imaginations, the ideas, the visions, we're never gonna move because some of them don't make practical sense. So I had to let go of some of the things, a lot of the things actually, and be like, okay, what makes really sense for who I am, right? My level of energy that I have, the level of commitment that I have. Okay, so maybe not 100, maybe like 10, you know, and that's enough, right? So it's being very practical and realistic, and pulling yourself back sometimes, and also allowing yourself to dream a little bit
Mm-hmm.
bigger, but it's finding that balance.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. And as we're talking about
Yeah.
balance, I've been chatting with a few of my friends recently, and we're all having this kind of, I don't want to say come to Jesus moment, but like we're all at some kind of crossroads where some kind of big shift is happening. It might be work, it might be I want to go back to school, it might be something doesn't feel right in my relationship. And it's a little bit scary, you know? And
Yeah.
what would you say are like some of the key ingredients of like making these bold life altering decisions that feel like we're letting go of so much of our previous selves?
Well, I don't think this is a fair question. And here's why I don't think it's a fair question, because I don't think everybody's built to make these shifts,
Mm,
and that's me being very realistic. Like it's easy to come up with a concept
yeah.
intellectually, but then in actuality, a lot of us aren't built to take those steps that I'm about to list.
Yeah.
Honestly, sometimes you just have to jump off the deep end and be delusional, and and then hope that something catches you.
Mm,
And I'll give you an example. My work permit was rejected, so I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything here in Canada. And I remember hiring a lawyer because they were about to deport me,
mm,
right? So like I was about a month or so out from being deported from Canada, and I remember at the time clearly couldn't work. The lawyer formulated some documents and allowed for me to get like a temporary
mhm.
one that would allow for me to get employment, at least fulfill my nomination for Manitoba. And I remember saying to her, you know what? No, I'm not going to get a job. My intention isn't to get a job here. My intention is to start a business. But she's like, Caurel, you started the nomination off with a work permit, meaning that you have to work for somebody else. And I'm like, yeah, I hear all of that, but something bigger than me and you right now is telling me that I need to just start a business. And this is essentially how the business started. I just need to start a business, and then you're going to use that, and that's going to get me my permanent residency. And she's like, Caurel, remember, you're paying me to give you advice. And I'm like, I hear you completely. But I'm telling you that right now, I'm going to do this. And she's like, are you sure? And the person I was with at the time, he was saying the same thing. He's like, Caurel, you're paying her all these thousands of dollars and you're not listening to her. And I'm like, yo, there's something bigger than her that is saying otherwise, and I'm going to follow that. Within 2 weeks, I ended up getting a notification saying that my permanent residency was approved.
Wow.
So I said all of that to say sometimes the delusion actually, and I don't know if I should call it delusion, but whatever connection I have to God, to the universe, whatever it is, said to me on paper, maybe what your lawyer is saying makes sense, but what I'm setting up for you is so much bigger than what your lawyer or somebody, some earthly being, is saying. And in all honesty, I think that's what makes me make so much bold moves in my life, is that something bigger than me is giving me these instructions, and it's just to have the discipline and the, what's the word that I've been looking for these past couple of months. My God, why can't I find the word now? Let's. I'll just go with discipline right
Discipline.
now.
So it will come to you
Yeah,
at
the
some
discipline
point.
to just
Just burn
listen.
it out when it comes to you.
Yeah,
And I think that's one of the things, though, that so many of us cannot live in that space of uncertainty, and it's uncomfortable. But one is also it also comes back to fear of not having control. If I
yeah,
cannot control the outcome, it is it's it's anxiety inducing, because what you mean I can't control the outcome? So I think a lot of that too holds us back, and I think for me, my thing was always like a fear of rejection overall, like no matter what relationship or what situation, it just felt like
hmm
if I was going to be told no, like why should I bother? And then I
yeah.
am now in a place where I was even saying to my friend yesterday that the worst I can say is no. Like it's not like,
You're not
okay,
gonna die.
if them say no, another path. Like it's not the end of the road. And
Yeah,
I think it does take some time for us to get to that point of like being
yeah,
okay with, as you were saying, just jumping and hoping something happens.
yeah,
And like if it doesn't, okay, that's not my path, something else.
yeah.
Um,
So I
yeah,
think what I'm hearing from you, it's is one, getting comfortable with the no, and I think to extend on that point is understanding that the no isn't a rejection to who you are. It might just be a no to the situation, the idea, the vision that's in play at
yeah,
that point. It has nothing to do
yeah,
with you as a person.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. Sometimes we can't really separate that. Um,
Yeah.
but a lot of your work kind of resides in resentment, and I didn't do all of it, but I slowly went through some of the resentment self test on your site. And the first question, and I thought it was so interesting, was I feel a lingering sense of unfairness about the responsibilities I am shouldering, especially in light of how my needs are handled. That feel like a
Hmm.
very big one to start off with. Like, can you help me break this
Whew.
down? And was there like a significance of that being the first question on the self test?
Most people that come to me with unresolved childhood
Absolutely.
trauma,
Yeah.
right? So I'm in a space now. I'm what, 37, 38 next
Mm-hmm.
month, and I am in a space where I know I'm responsible for the well-being of my parents, right? I'm
Yes.
kind of sort of an older, the eldest, the only. I have an adopted brother with for my mom, and then my dad. I'm the only child, so I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
swing both sides. At the end of the day, either way, I have to be responsible for them, right? And I'm just like, I look back at how my needs were taken care
Mm-hmm.
of. And I'm at some point in my life, I was just like, so you want me to take care of you? No, and you didn't even take care of me the way that I wanted to be taken care of, is the statement that I used to
Yeah.
make. And in saying all of that, it made me feel like I didn't want to do it. It felt like a burden,
Mm-hmm.
actually, to now be responsible for a set of people that, in my opinion, at the time, didn't give me what I
Yeah.
needed. And I find that with the clients that come to me, it's very much the same thing. It's like, well, you didn't take care of my needs. So the fact that no, I have to take care of yours, I really don't want to, but if I have to, I'll
Yeah.
do it, but I won't give it up my all. And if I do give it my all, I'm going to feel like shit after because all of these feelings are settling and I don't know what to do with them because I can't tell you about it because it's so far gone at this point. So what's the point of even talking to you about it?
This growing up your parents thing is tough though. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's something
Yeah,
I
man.
there was no preparation for, and it's thrust upon you in a certain way. And it's funny how on one hand, like my father doesn't listen at all. Like you could say all the stuff, he's like, okay, yeah, 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 not doing anything. And then my mother on the other hand is like very like, yes, 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 I'm gonna do everything, but like too much. Like the other day, the doctor had told her to lose a few pounds. She lost all of the
Yeah.
weight within a month. Like she didn't. He was like, no, I meant over the course of us seeing each other, not like.
So she's an overachiever.
So like I have to temper how I'm saying things to either of them because,
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
this is a whole job.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And a lot of people, despite whether or not they want to have the job, they're left with no
Yeah.
choice. And I think it's the no choice and the level of feeling
Yeah.
powerless
Yeah.
to the situation that causes a lot of resentment, a lot of anger. And I think because it's unresolved from way before this present moment, that's what we kind of have to navigate and understand that they did all they could with
Yeah.
what they had. And I know we don't like to
Mm-hmm.
hear that, but it's the
Yeah.
truth, right? It's the truth. The good thing is that we have a lot more, or at least I hope we have a lot more.
Theoretically.
And again, it's us being realistic about the conversation. It's just like, as long as we have a little bit more, it means that we can do a little bit more if we
Yeah.
want to. And thankfully, I'm in a space where them not listening, I don't make it personal anymore. I'm just like, God,
Yeah.
this is just who they are, and I just navigate it in a way where I don't have to build up any feelings or resentment. It's just like, oh, this is just them,
Mm.
and I implement a lot of consequences, natural sometimes, most times it's just like, well, if you don't do the thing, then this is what's going to
Yeah.
happen. So if you want this to happen, then carry
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Have become the parent that I would have wanted.
I think that is it too. Um, because we are now you have to I think you have to get over the resentment to get to that point though, right? Like you have to kind of
Yes,
get to a
true.
point where all right, this is what happened. It was not the best situation that I was in. Do whatever you kind of need to do to help you through that process. For you, it was hypnotherapy. For others, it might be something else. And then
Yeah.
act from that, like the place of being healed or in the process of being healed, instead of from the
Whatever
childhood
that means.
trauma place, because then you basically doing what they did to you is still it's boiling up so much in you that like it doesn't make sense. And with the energy distribution these days, you don't have the energy to keep
Yeah.
it in.
I guess it depends too, right? And maybe this is something that can help one of the listeners is understanding the importance of the experience that you had with your parents. This
Mm,
might sound a little woo woo, but I'm okay with that. I understood that my father not being there beyond the age of 2 was a necessary experience that I had
yeah.
to have. And here's why. The spitfire that I am, and the Mr. Responsible, and things need to be done a certain way that my dad is, I would have been more traumatized if
Uh,
he was around than if he was gone, right? So I think for a long time I looked at his absence as, man, I wish I had my father. Man, because you get to see other people having their
yes,
experiences with
yes.
their dads, and these are things that they got to do. And I'm like, yeah, that would have been cool, but my father would have tried to tell me what to do, how he wanted me to do it. And I don't know if that's an experience that I would have
Yeah,
wanted, especially because I had enough of that as a woman, first of all.
yeah,
So that's a whole different conversation. So to add another element of that would have drove me up the wall. So it's almost like there's some gratitude, and it sounds
Mm-hmm.
weird for his absence,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I don't know if that will help somebody. I know it helped me a lot, that for me to become this person that I am today, his absence was necessary,
Yeah.
right? Because I love to learn things on my own, and he wouldn't have allowed me to learn because he would have been so, those helicopter
Yeah.
parents. Yeah, he would have been that, and that would have drove me crazy. So there's a sense of gratitude for his absence now. And I don't know if psychologically I'm trying to, gaslight myself or whatever, but it helped me progress beyond the pain. It's just like, oh, well, this made sense for who I am. Like, if I
Mm.
needed to put some puzzle pieces together, his absence would have been the perfect piece to make me into who I am, to get the
That's
full
really
picture.
interesting. That's a whole
Yeah,
different way to
uh-huh.
look at things for sure. Yeah, that's giving healed. The ing, the healed. Love that. Love that. Um,
Yeah.
as we're talking though about like resentment and anger and those things, what are your views on anger? Because I think I am still adjusting my perspectives because I remember in a therapy session recently, I was talking to my therapist and I was saying, boy, like I didn't want to come off as angry. And she asked me why not. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like that's an interesting question to ask. Um,
Oh,
and I am now seeing it as like emotions are emotions, and there's no positive or negative. You have to feel the thing, be in the moment, kind of get through it. Do you see anger as helpful or harmful? What are your thoughts?
oh. I think they're all necessary, like you. It's interesting. I actually had my own session yesterday with a practitioner, and anger was my primary emotion that I was feeling. I was feeling angry towards just the misunderstanding, the misinterpretation of just who I am as a
Mm-hmm.
person. And I'll say this as a Black woman because I think that's very necessary. Anger, as it relates to us being who we are, isn't something that is deemed
Yeah.
positive, right? It's, the trope, an angry Black
Mm-hmm.
woman. So I think even that narrative floating around has subsequently just kind of rooted itself
Yeah.
somewhere. And even though we know that it's not necessarily true, that we're sometimes just people that are very passionate, it's a sense of powerlessness that comes with that anger, right? So I think anger is a necessary emotion
Yeah.
because what it does, it gets to the root
Mm-hmm.
of what's really happening. And I think it's not just really a Black woman thing. I think it's a people thing in the sense of powerlessness. When you have no control, you think you are
Yeah.
powerless. But the truth is, if you believe that is, if there's something bigger than you and they're kind of taking the reins, or it's taking the reins, however you want to see it, then are you truly powerless? Or is it that you just have to sit in the flow and temper whatever it is that you think you need to temper? So, long and short of it, I think it's a necessary emotion to have because it opens the doors to answers that maybe you're looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah, that's so true. But I feel like for sure as Black women, and women in general, it feels like we don't have that length of grace that a man would have, especially like in a male dominated space, which I mean,
Mhm.
we are living in a patriarchal society, so literally everywhere. He's given the grace to like be upset and smash things, but
Yeah.
you did that, like something wrong with you, you're mad. Like it's a whole thing. So it kind of gets us into this space of like, no, I can't come across as that. I have to be like, sweet and calm and whatever all the time. What tends to happen is that sometimes you hold it in and then it comes out as one big fiery burst.
Yeah, but I
And
think
our
that's
yeah,
the part is that because there's no room for us to express that particular emotion, after a while it turns into
yeah,
rage,
yeah.
right? So it starts off as anger, and anger, like I said, is a normal
Mm-hmm.
emotion. For it to then now be bottled up, it expands and turn into this big thing now that we call rage. And then when we become rageful, we're crazy. And the gaslighting starts. And yes, the gaslighting can also be internal. It starts internal, if I'm being honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
because we already have that narrative spinning that something is wrong with us for even being angry, because we're not supposed to be, because something's wrong with
Yeah.
us, for being angry. It's like this revolving door, right? So I think and that's what
Yeah.
makes it so complicated. It's like, you want to say it starts with you, but then it also started because of the patriarchy that we're embedded in, like the constant saying that, you know something is wrong with you for feeling what you are feeling,
Yeah.
because the person that is the creator of this patriarchy, they don't know how to navigate their emotions, as emotional as they are. Telling you that because you decide to feel it, something is wrong with you. It starts
Yeah.
from that, but we facilitate it in a way that is harmful to ourselves.
That's, yes,
A whole
that's it.
conversation, a whole.
We're gonna have to put a pin in it because because honestly, we could go off for a little bit. But I want to
Mhm.
bring us back a little bit to kind of trauma and like childhood trauma. I did an episode
Yeah.
recently on trauma and how a lot of us don't realize that we're really operating from a place of trauma. And at my big age, I mean,
Mhm.
I kid you not, I thought PTSD was like for very serious things, like soldiers at war, like people who have gone like to very serious sexual abuse, you kidnapped, like all those things I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. But it really doesn't
Yeah.
have to be that serious. Like it doesn't have to be that serious. But now in our space that we're realizing this, how do we start the trauma work? Where does it begin?
Yeah. This is a very slippery
Mm,
slope kind of question, because I think we're in the age, because there's so much talk about trauma and PTSD and CPTSD, that there is a misunderstanding that is happening. So I have to be very careful when I answer this, to be like, yeah, you have big T trauma, like, the wars and the natural disasters. And then you have small T trauma, which is like, being rejected by a parent, and, your whole narrative or sense of self has now become, okay, everybody's going to reject me, kind of thing. And then there's growing pains, right? I think I have to add that
mm,
part, is that if in life you're going to live, like, I mean, truly live, you're going to experience growing pains, and growing pains can also feel like it's
yeah.
trauma. So it's understanding the terminology that you're using, and understanding that words have power, and not every goddamn thing is trauma, right? Some things
Yeah.
are just you growing. It feels uncomfortable, but because it's uncomfortable does not mean it is trauma. Because it is uncomfortable does not mean that it is unsafe. It's just saying, hey, the person that you need to become for this purpose of your journey, you need to break that person and become somebody else. You have to get rid of that version, and getting rid of a version of you that
Mm,
you've lived with for a long
mm-hmm.
time. Let me tell you how detrimental, how terrifying that feels in the moment, but it is simply growing
Yeah.
pains.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all got to
And I
grow.
think this is so important to at least have one session with an actual professional, because TikTok therapy, all these people who are saying all these things on these apps, it's not always accurate. Like you do have to get an actual professional's opinion, right? Not
Yeah,
somebody who's just Googling and telling you what it is, right? Because Google will show you what you want to see, right? So like you have to get a
exactly.
professional sometime, man. Can't just take the advice from people them on the internet like that.
They're very entertaining too, I must say. I gotta give them their props. Like, you get there and you're like, man, this is what, yeah, man, this is it. Also, I'm autistic now. Oh my god, I have ADHD now, and I'm like, no, maybe you're just lazy. Maybe you're just not trying. Maybe you're looking for an excuse, a reason not to be better. Like,
Honestly,
yeah,
honestly, right? Like, and I had to say this to my doctor the other day because for like a year and a half, I've been asking him to get an ADHD test because my therapist was saying it probably would be a good idea just to see. Um, he was like, "Oh, no, usually these things are diagnosed in people that are younger." I'm like, I am Jamaican. There would have been no opportunity for me to do this. My
True.
parents are not like, you just need to focus. Like, what do you mean? Idiot. What is that? Like, nobody even spoke about that when we were going to prep school, primary school, even high school. Um,
Hmm.
and then he said to me, "Oh, you want to just start some medication and see if it help you?" No, I don't. I do not, because I need I need to know if my have it or not. Why am I taking the medication if I not have it? I just want to know. Until
Yeah.
literally just now the assessment was done. And I'm like, this is crazy that we live in a place where, one, you can just say, you know what, this is me on the internet, not when I get assessed. Or and two, that the doctor is gonna offer you this medication without even doing an examination, like putting you onto a specialist. Why
I mean, they don't really
really?
want to fix the problem. And it's not even, I don't even look at it as a problem. I just think we're just wired differently, some of us, right? And when I say wired differently, I don't mean that as a, oh, that means no, you get off because, you're wired differently. It's just a, okay, so if you're wired differently, try to understand your wiring a little bit differently. Understand what you need
Mhm.
for your wiring to be a productive member of
Yeah.
society. And I know that sounds a little bit harmful just by saying a productive member of society, but even just being productive for yourself, like I'm sure you have goals, I'm sure you have a vision for yourself. If you want to attain that, you can't be getting up every day and making the excuse, man, I just can't focus, I just can't focus, I just can't focus. Okay, what do you need to help you
Yeah.
focus? It's figuring that out, right? Like, what do I need to remove from my environment so I am able to focus? And it's being an adult. I,
Mm,
like, I know it sounds simple, but it really is being an adult and taking responsibility for your life. And a lot of people don't want to do
yeah.
that. So they hear the ADHD and they're like, yes, finally have the
Excuse. I have a
answers.
note.
And this is it.
I have a note. Nothing is my fault. It's not my fault.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And that's not okay. It's not okay. And you have people literally coming on the internet saying, oh my God, just took my ADHD medication and I feel like a whole new person. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
That has not been my
okay.
reality. But I think also it's just now we're going to a whole thing. But I think what some doctors do, them start you off too high. So they know, that is why it
Yeah,
gets addictive, because you were literally right here. You found out you had
yeah.
ADHD, them give you like 30, 40 milligrams. You're shooting up and you're like, oh my God, like, well, something was wrong with me
It's that
before.
first high.
Instead of like
Yeah,
incrementally saying, like, I am started right now on 10 milligrams.
yeah,
I'm saying to myself, I'm not seeing a difference, but like, I'm just going with the flow, because let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Because a part of
yeah.
it
You don't want to
is
become
also right,
dependent
like
on
a
it
part of it is
too.
also like knowing what you need to do to kind of come up to the medication sometimes too.
Exactly.
And I think that's what people don't realize too, about like those psychological kind of things with medication, especially with like anxiety, depression, and those kinds of things. Sometimes it's not for you to go there
Yeah,
all the way, but it helps you with the chemical imbalances so you can make up the time. So you can catch up the
yeah.
shortfall. But we just want to sit back and say, work for me. You do the work for me.
But then I'm curious though, and this is for my own information. Like what is it that the whoever is having these or taking these medication, what are they trying to attain? Like what is the end goal?
Hmm.
Because if the end goal isn't even one that is realistic, because what I've seen and experienced is that, oh, I want to operate like this person,
Hmm.
not realizing that this person operating in the way that they're operating isn't something that is long term. It's just maybe for the short
Yeah,
sprint.
yeah, yeah.
And then they're like, you know what? All right, I'm going to cut this off. But somebody wants to experience that all the time. And that's not
That is
realistic.
very true. Because I think a lot of those CEOs were like, oh, there's no time to sleep. I get like 4 a.m. to like 9 p.m. is when I'm. It's not realistic. It's not like nobody,
It's
it
not.
don't make sense to grind like that. And half of the people who are successful, the first thing they'll say is, I regret not spending more time with my family. I regret not taking more breaks. It doesn't make
Exactly.
sense, right? I think the important piece too of you getting an assessment before you even taking any mood boosting anything is the doctor asks me, what are you trying to achieve? Like, what is the biggest downfall that you are seeing right now?
Mhm.
And I said, literally, too many thoughts going up. I'm getting exhausted just thinking about the things. I'm gonna have no momentum to start anything at all. I'm
Okay.
just a spiral all day till 9 o'clock and nothing to do. So I just need something to help me a little bit to choose one thing to start.
Mm,
That's all. I just want to start.
okay.
And then he was
Okay.
like, all right, let's start on the 10 milligrams and we'll see where we go from there. I think a lot of people are
Okay.
trying this like prolonged sustained focus, which is not, it's not possible.
Who does that?
It's not possible.
Who does that?
Like,
And
yeah,
as somebody that I think a lot of people, when they see how I operate, they're like, how do you do it? And I'm like, in all honesty, I can go for a good maybe a week. And then after the week, I'm just like, another week I'm spending doing nothing. So you don't see the time where I'm spending
yeah.
doing nothing. You only see the time where I'm doing all of these things. And it's not something that I could sustain long
Mm-hmm.
term.
Mm-hmm.
It's not,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm listening to you, Nicolette, and I'm wondering, well, obviously you're a deep thinker because if your mind is constantly going, and I guess it's just the overthinking that is kind of crippling you right now. There are many people out there. I'm very similar. I think what I've found to work for me is just prioritizing what is
Mm-hmm.
important, and then everything else just kind of has to
Mm-hmm.
float. But we'll have to get into a whole different conversation as it relates to that. Like so
There's
much to talk
there are
about.
all these like future podcast episodes spiraling now as we're having as we're having this discussion. Um, but I think one of the things that also kind of came up as I was like looking at the work that you do and those kinds of things was this journey towards our
Yeah,
full potential. And I think a lot of us don't know what that looks like or what that is. And it kind of feels
yeah,
like a fairy tale ending or some kind of dream to get to like
yeah.
what is a full potential. Um, but in like layman's millennial terms, what would be like some small things we can start doing to like to kind of realize the power we have just like on a day to day?
Oh God. I want to be honest first and foremost that not everybody is going to be able to get to their full
Absolutely.
potential.
Yeah.
Like, if one thing you're gonna get from me is the realness, we all ain't gonna get there. Some people are just here to be strugglers, and you're just gonna have to accept you're struggling,
Yeah.
right? For the people that do have that opportunity or want to give themselves that opportunity, I think it's understanding who you
Mm.
are. I think that's, in fact, I can't give you no more steps than that because it really is encapsulated within that. It's once you know who you are, you're on that path, it then becomes a little bit easier to fulfill your potential because at that point you would have known what you
Yeah.
need. And most people don't know what the hell they
Very
need,
true.
right? You go to somebody and they're like, I'm struggling. I'm okay. What do you need? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, how do you get the help if you don't know?
That's why I'm here so you can tell me.
And you know what's funny in the sessions with me? I don't tell you anything, you know. I legitimately am just playing around with your thoughts. We're just formulating it, and it makes sense in the end because you're like, oh, okay, so this isn't this confusion ball anymore. There's
Yeah.
clarity. There's an understanding, and then you are able to see and realize what it is that your full potential is. I don't give it to you. You already have it. It's just under a lot of
Yeah.
muck right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
need some clarity.
So
Yeah.
it's long and short, having a better understanding of yourself. And I do that with a little bit of help with
Mm.
numerology. I don't know if you had dived into that
Mm-mm.
on the side or anything. But I guess since we're here, let's do
Oh my God.
yours.
Okay.
They get a full.
No, I'm nervous.
Oh my god, I love it. It's simple. It's simple, and I'm sure everybody can go and do their Google search. But just to throw you out there,
Okay. Ready to
yeah.
go. I'll be the scapegoat.
So I want you to just provide me with your date of birth. So month, day, and year.
October 12, 1990.
October 12th. Oops, let me clear this out. All right, so October 12th,
Mm-hmm.
1990.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're a 5. Oh, so
Okay.
you're
And
like me.
what?
What exactly does that mean? What are we doing here? This gonna be like magic.
Okay, 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 good. I'm so excited now. I've been finding a lot of fives, or fives been finding me.
Mm,
So a five is just a freedom seeker, right? They just love to explore. They're just here to experience life to its fullest. And no matter what we do, sometimes I think we're really just set up ourselves to experience a whole lot of shit, which means that you're going to experience a lot of
yeah.
challenges, right? Because essentially, if you're not experiencing life to the fullest, then what was the point is the question, right? So if you find yourself not even really liking authority, not liking
Mm-hmm.
being told what to
Mm-hmm.
do, um, it's likely
Very much.
that you're a
Very
five.
much.
You're either a five or a eight or a one. They don't, or a three. They don't really like to be told what to do, and oftentimes we're taking a lot of risks with our life. We embrace change a lot easier than most
Mm.
people. In fact, we actually love change because, again, change allows for us to have new experiences. But so when you think of a five is just that person that is all about life and having the full extent of what life can offer.
That's so interesting. No, I have a whole thing to get lost into after this. After we wrap up this episode. Okay.
Yes. So of course I just spoke life into
Yeah.
you. The one thing though I will say about a
Mm.
five that we have to work on is our discipline. We have to work on understanding that life comes with responsibilities and it's not all about just
Yeah.
freedom and just doing what you want. You also have things that you have to do, you're here to do, and the longer you take to get to that point is a little bit harder for you because responsibilities are a part of the equation too. It's not just about having
Yeah.
fun. It's also about,
Yeah.
yeah, having responsibilities.
All right. So I'm excited now to go look
Hmm.
into that.
I'll send you
Oh,
a
thank
link
you
so
so
you can
much.
view it. You can look into it more.
Um, but it's been a few years. Like you're like a seasoned entrepreneur at this point. It's been 4 years or more. I'm sure there's some kind of lessons learned along the way. Like, so what are some of the biggest things I would say you've learned about yourself in this entrepreneurship journey?
You know, I don't believe I'm seasoned yet. I feel like I'm still a baby. I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I legitimately think I'm
the
still a
toddler
baby.
stages. Yeah.
Yeah, man, yeah, man. I, oh my God, the biggest lesson. What did I learn about myself? You know, I'm grateful for the mother that I had. My
Mm.
mother always told me I could do anything and be anything that
Love
I wanted. And
that.
it was true for me. I'm not saying it's true for everybody else. I know it's true for me. And with that belief, that really strong belief, it allowed me to take some risks. Like I legitimately just dived into a business, did not have a side hustle or nothing, didn't have a
Business. Yeah.
job. It was just straight business. Did it work? No, it did not. I did have to find a job eventually. It did not. But you know what? It taught me to bet on myself. That's the biggest lesson. Even if it doesn't work, it's not about it working or not. It's the fact that I was able to entrust in
Hmm.
myself and entrust in my gifts, my skills in myself. And that I no matter what happens in the end, that is enough for
Yeah.
me. Even if this shit goes to
Yeah.
shit, this was enough for me to know that I can believe in myself. And that's
Love
it.
that. Love that. Um, that I mean, that's a best, like a perfect leading to the next question, which is our checkout question. What are you currently doing to be a better version of you?
Oh, I stopped lying to myself.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
explanation. Stop lying.
Yeah. It was so funny. I was talking to my friend the other day, and I was telling him all the things I was gonna do for that day. And then he checked in back with me. I was like, I don't know why I did this, bro. I knew I wasn't gonna do these things. And I was like, yeah, maybe if I said it, no, girl, you know you're not gonna do it. You know? Don't be that person. And then you're gonna be disappointed in yourself, and you know so you're never gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
There's no point
That's
anymore.
true. And I think for me it's always my to-do list. Overachieving. My to-do list too much, girl. Like
Baby
dial
steps.
it
Baby
back.
steps. Yeah. And it's funny, as fives we do that because we're so ambitious. We're just so we want to get it
Yeah.
all done, and then we're like, we start a lot of things and we don't finish them. So, girl,
Yeah.
I know you.
We are literally on the path. I have to be telling myself, like, just one at a time, because you're not
Yeah.
gonna. Don't get lost. Don't get
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah, just make sure you finish. And I think the issue is, or maybe not an issue, the thing with us is because we like the newness. After a while, this is so boring. I'm just like, I want something new. No, finish this first,
Yes,
please. Let's just finish this
that's the.
first, and then we can get
But
on to
how you
something more
manage that
exciting.
in business? Because with that, yeah,
Um, my business has transformed itself, or maybe I should say responsibly. I've transformed my business so many times. But the good thing is that the way I've transformed it, it's still within the scope of the thing that I initially started out doing. So
okay,
initially it was just, oh, I want to do, sessions. And then it was like, oh, no, I want to do podcasts. Oh, no, I want to go on speaking engagements. So it's still within the scope of what I do. It's just
mm-hmm.
different ideas that are attached to that. So I'm not going to just get up and say, oh, I'm just going to be an architect now. Um, yeah, I can build things within the business, but I'm not gonna just abandon ship
Yeah,
just because I'm bored
yeah,
with the current foundation. So the foundation is something that is set, but
yes,
I get to play around with other things to keep my excitement up. Because boredom will come for
yeah,
me.
yeah. Honestly, Carol, this has been such an illuminating conversation. Um, Not gonna lie, we're gonna have to regroup on a few of these, on a few of these side quests that we kind of went on in our chat today. But
Yeah,
so happy to have shared space with you on the podcast, and I'm sure our listeners will find this so valuable. Thank you so much.
you're welcome, and don't worry, I'll be in closer proximity to you shortly.
Oh,
We'll talk offline about that.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Follow along with us wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our content on the website, thegrownupmillennial.com. Follow us on Instagram at thegrownupmillennial and like our page on Facebook, The Grown Up Millennial. Find us everywhere.